Hello mountain bikers and welcome back to your favorite gear show. Actually, it's been so warm in August, I decided to just go surfing instead, so here's a clip of me testing my new surfboard. What was that? Still here? Good. I was only kidding. Of course we've been riding our bikes, and of course we've been testing a bunch of gear. I've got some new shoes, brake rotors, maintenance products and some multi-tools to talk you through today. But before we get into the reviews, time for our customary industry news roundup with a month in a minute. Let's dig in. RockShox has had another busy month with the launch of 2 new forks and a new air shock. We've tested both the new Boxer and the new Vivid, with our testers claiming these may well be the cream of the crop right now. Check out the full coverage on our site for more. RockShox also released a new SID with an updated damper featuring a new pedal platform that is said to offer improved efficiency and control. On the topic of suspension, we traveled to France this summer to ride some fresh new products from Fast Suspension, and we came away well impressed by what they are making right now. Again, head to our site to check out the coverage in detail. YT also had a busy August, releasing a whole bunch of new limited edition uncaged builds. The Uncaged 11 series brings Swedish suspension to high-level builds of the Carbon Iso, Capra and Tues models, while the Capra Uncaged 10 features a hard-hitting yet much more affordable parts package on an alloy frame. YT also just introduced new riding shorts and pants if you want to complete your wardrobe. Vitus continues to put out highly competitive bike models, with the new E-Mythique LT topping out at just $4,599 with a 95 Nm motor. For those who rely only on their leg power to go as fast as they can, Trek has just updated their Super Caliber with more travel and an easy-to-service RockShox Sid Lux Isostrut shock. Shimano has just released a whole new family of riding shoes with updated Ultra GF outsoles on the flat pedal shoes and Ultra GE on the clipless models. We tested Giant's new rail and roost helmets with excellent results. Head to our site to check out the full review to learn more. Feedback Sports just dropped their new Range Click Torque Wrench, a portable torque wrench with measurements from 2 to 14 Nm and 13 steel tool bits that pack into a compact, protective case. Forge and Bond just introduced 2 new wheels based on their Fusion Fiber rims, a proprietary thermoplastic carbon fiber material that is said to be stronger and more durable while providing a smoother ride and being recyclable. Also built with Fusion Fiber, Revel Bikes has increased the strength, fine-tuned the layup and updated the aesthetics of their all-new RW30 wheels. Staying with carbon wheels, We Are One Composites just announced a permanent price drop on their Convergence and Revolution rims, making them even better value than before. Hope just released their new F22 chainring, which is compatible with newer 12-speed chains including SRAM's T-Type and Shimano's HG+. And to conclude, 5Dev has announced that they are expanding their line of titanium crank arms for e-bikes to cover more spindle dimensions and crank arm lengths. Whoa, so much fresh new gear, and we're not done yet. Time to get into the reviews. 2 years ago, we first got wind of a new mountain bike flat pedal shoe being launched on Kickstarter, a well-known crowdfunding platform. After some pretty challenging times where it looked like the whole project might even fail at one point, Anamoly, yeah that's how they spell it, has now delivered their first shoe. We've had it out on the trail to see if it lives up to the design objectives and the performance promises. The Anamoly mountain biking shoe we received features a raised inner ankle cuff, which gives it a half high-top silhouette. The uppers are synthetic, with large panels and plenty of laser-cut ventilation holes. The laces are partially hidden underneath the upper panels, and there's a large molded toe cap for protection. The construction is mainly thermobonded, and the inside of the shoe features a quick-drying comfort liner. The inner sole provides some arch support thanks to a raised intersection, and there are a couple of softer patches of some silicone-like material under the heel for shock absorption. The company shows several colorways on its Kickstarter page and website. Our test sample is the plain black version, as you can see here. The most important aspect of any flat pedal shoe is the outsole, and Anamoly says they've spent a lot of time developing their Hero Rubber compound, borrowing its name from the Hero Dirt conditions we all like to ride. It was designed to be both sticky and durable, as well as offer good performance in the wet. Slipping into the Anamoly shoe for the first time, we noticed it runs big and wide. We had ample room both in front of and to the side of our toes, and we figured this shoe will fit those who usually find most mountain biking shoes too narrow for their feet. Other than that, the fit is pretty boxy. The shoe is quite stiff, and it doesn't quite conform to the shape of the foot in all areas. The sole itself is also fairly rigid, which translates to a slightly disconnected feeling on the pedals and when hiking about. The toe area of the shoe doesn't quite want to bend as you walk, which leads to some awkward creasing at first. As testing went on, the shoe got a bit softer overall, which helped both on and off the bike. What about that all-important grip then? Well, as many other companies have already discovered before Anamoly, it's hard to make a really grippy compound. There are currently 3 companies that lead the way in terms of compounds: 510, Specialized and Fox. Anamoly's Hero Rubber isn't able to compete here when it comes to outright stickiness. As with many other shoes, the Anamoly compound works well enough when your heels are down and you've got good pressure on the pedals. But when you start making mistakes and you lose that pressure, you've got to rely on the surface of the rubber to hold on, and this is where it falls short of the market leaders. This can lead to a loss of confidence if you ride very challenging terrain. The stiff midsole also makes it harder to feel what the pedal is doing under your foot, which can further accentuate this slightly uneasy feeling. On the plus side, there's a lot of protection on offer, and the shoe will keep your little piggy safe if your ride should end up with a bit of involuntary bushwhacking. In conclusion, the flat pedal shoe market has come a long way in the past few years, and there are quite a few options available to the discerning mountain biker today. Anamoly has done well to follow their idea through to fruition, but we think they need to do a little bit more work to further refine their shoe. The grip isn't fully convincing in the rough stuff, and the overall fit is a little unsophisticated. We'd also like to point out that the company has adopted a somewhat liberal interpretation of what it means to be featured in the press, as they show a long list of magazine and website accolades on their Kickstarter page and on their website, all of which are in fact just the press reporting on the launch of their Kickstarter campaigns and not actual product reviews. This one is probably one of the first ones you'll see. Danish brand CeramicSpeed has a rich history in road cycling, where their bearings are synonymous with speed and extra watts. Perhaps less well known is the fact that they also make quite a few products for mountain biking, some of which have been quietly put to good use by outfits like the Rocky Mountain Raceface Enduro team, which took home the overall title in 2022 with Jesse Melamed. We've been checking out some of their maintenance products to start with. Here's what we thought of them. The UFO line of maintenance and lubrication products is part of the off-road optimized CeramicSpeed X family. You'll also find bottom brackets, headsets, chains, derailleur pulley wheels and cages here. To start our testing, we were sent a drivetrain cleaner and the UFO wet conditions drip wax, even though we would mainly be testing during the summer months. CeramicSpeed told us that this chain wax is the toughest one they make and that it would be usable also during dry and dusty conditions. The biodegradable and non-toxic drivetrain cleaner works as you would expect. You spray it on the drivetrain, let it soak for a couple of minutes before using a brush to really loosen up the dirt and grime. Then simply rinse it all off and let the chain dry. We found the UFO cleaner very effective and it left our chain pretty much spotless every time. Once the chain is completely dry, time to apply the drip wax. Unlike regular lube, this stuff is made to fully coat the chain, so you need to apply a generous coating. CeramicSpeed says 2 full rotations on either side of the chain should do the trick. You then need to let the wax cure overnight. This is not one of those lubes where you just wipe off the excess and go. The next day, you'll find the wax has hardened to create a transparent coating on the chain. While we haven't been able to measure any difference in drivetrain efficiency, we can attest to the fact that the chain has really behaved well with this wax coating on it. It feels smooth under the pedals, and we've also been able to eke out several rides with one single coating without having it wear off too quickly. The chain has stayed clean and silent, whereas we've had other lubes starting to gather up dust, creak and complain much sooner than that. Yes, this stuff is undoubtedly expensive, and having to remember to put it on the day before won't be to everyone's liking, but the performance is there if you're looking for an extra edge. Brake rotors have been getting thicker over the past couple of years as manufacturers look to make a more solid product that could also affect the power and feel of your brakes. Hope has not ignored this trend, and they now make a 2.3mm thick version of their standard brake rotor. As with everything Hope, their brake rotors are a quality product, and we've not had any real issues to report on during many years of using them. Their fixed rotor is laser cut from a single piece of heat-treated stainless steel with plenty of ventilation holes in the main braking surface. You can get them in pretty much any size you want, from 160 to 225mm, but if you want a center-lock version, you'll have to go with the floating rotor model instead. The 2.3mm thick 180mm rotor weighs 36 grams more than its 1.8mm counterpart, to give you an idea of the weight penalty of the thicker version. On the trail, we found the same consistent, powerful braking performance as with the regular floating rotor. The thicker rotors are said to deal with heat buildup better, but even on longer runs, we've not been able to really quantify this difference. What is certain is that the rotors have stayed absolutely true during many months of riding, which is not always the case with single-piece rotors. They can be prone to warping depending on the brand. We did notice that these rotors make a bit more noise under very light braking, like dragging your brakes before a turn, for example. Other than that, it's been business as usual. Crankbrothers has just implemented a nifty little upgrade to their F-series of tools. The new F11 and F16 models now sport an extra sleeve, which clips onto the tool itself and holds a tubeless repair kit, further adding to the overall usefulness of these tools. It may also make them more suitable for juggling practice. Or not. The sleeve holds 3 tubeless plugs as well as the plunger tool, and there is space to store a spare quick link for your chain as well. The multi-tools themselves are largely identical to the previous F10 and F15 tools, which offer 10 and 15 different tool bits, respectively. We've been using those for years, and they mostly do a good job out on the trail. You need to keep an eye on the bolt tension of the tool itself, otherwise they may loosen up over time, which makes the tool hard to fit back into its case. But other than that, we've had no real problems with it. Incidentally, the sleeve design of the new F11 and F16 tools has been updated with a couple of cutouts on the side of the opening, which should help alleviate this issue. All in all, we like the compact design of the F-series tools and the fact that the case can be used to add a little leverage for any extra stubborn bolts you may need to loosen on the trail. Okay then, that's the end of the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And until next time, happy trails!